Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, people of the internet and Respawn products. Just wait a second. Bear with me, guys. So originally, the video I had edited was about 17 minutes long. I recorded it. It was 28 minutes long, so we chopped it up a bit, but it was still too long for my submission. So I figured I'd upload that as like a little bonus for you guys to kind of see into my life and where I've been with creating content and streaming and where I want to go. We're still going to elaborate on that in this video, but I figured I would just, start fresh, give you guys 2 uploads and kind of just get into detail, from day one, why I started creating content. So I started on December 16th of 2016. And back then it was with an Xbox One and a Kinect camera. For about a year or so, I never really read chat, watched my VODs, anything like that. I would just hit go live. It wasn't until a year after I started streaming that I would, have my laptop open. And I started to notice that the Kinect camera usually is, zoomed in and tracks my face, but I guess every once in a while it would zoom out and focus back in and track my feet, which is just really cringe. So we got that taken care of. But I realistically started streaming back then just to kind of keep myself at home and out of trouble and to focus on my recovery / sobriety. Between 2016 and 2024, I have streamed, I think, 4,343 hours over on Twitch, and I just started to multi-stream over on Kick January of this year. One of my biggest accomplishments would be joining NorCal Rising. I joined them back in March of 2023, and that's NorCal Esports Development Team. And throughout the year, I was not only able to grow myself as a person, but I was also able to dial in on my creative side and kind of develop an idea of what I want to do with my content and what kind of message I want to put out. And throughout that time on Rising, I started to utilize YouTube more. And soon after, I started uploading more videos and more shorts. And in a little over a year, I have done 176,000 views. And those are just mostly off shorts, which I'm very proud of because I would never have expected to see those kinds of numbers so soon. Also, one of the biggest things that I've learned, throughout the years is expanding my horizon beyond just streaming. Because when I first started, it was just streaming and that was it. I wasn't really posting clips, wasn't really making videos. I don't think it was till like 2019 when I made my first video. And then after joining Rising, I was able to, kind of figure out, okay, this is how I need to go about this. And this is what needs to happen. So it's really, grown me as a person. I've developed, really, really good interpersonal communication skills. I've been more open, not only with myself, but with my community. I've learned to speak publicly and to be as honest and transparent as possible. Some of the challenges that I've had to overcome, starting off as a streamer, and not really do anything with that. I just started hitting live. I would stream 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I saw no growth, I didn't start getting consistent with it until 2017 when it was almost every single day for a set amount of time. Another big challenge I had to overcome, I want to say, is I had to stop comparing myself to everyone else around me, right? Like, I didn't understand that I was moving at my own pace and that this wasn't a race. And the only race that I was running was the race against myself, if that makes sense. And so I used to get really down when my numbers were down and when, no one was in chat and things like that. And then I kind of started to realize that, hey, I got to make sure I'm having fun when I'm doing this. And I can't focus so much on the numbers because my time will come. I had so much to learn back then. And I'm very glad that I never gave up with it because, we're coming up on 8 years in June, and it's completely transformed my life, my way of thinking, my way of being, the way I look at the world in general, but also the relationships and everything that I've formed through content creation are things that I, will never take for granted. Friendships, the experiences. I mean, I went to TwitchCon for the first time this past year, and it just opened my eyes to so many more opportunities and possibilities, and I'm forever grateful of that. Going from NorCal Rising to NorCal, it really solidified in my head that, my work is being seen, that it does take time to get these things, but if you put your head down, you just keep grinding and have fun with it, man, anything is possible. Doors will open all the time for you if you just keep looking for them. Burnout is another thing I really like to talk about because there's a lot of us, and I'm guilty of this myself, where I just overwork myself so hard and I never take breaks. And then I start to it starts to manifest in the content I make, right? So if you're watching my stream and this is like my 100th stream of the day or whatever the case is, that burnout starts to show itself. And it really took a long time, a good year or two, for me to figure out a healthy schedule and figure out, that it's okay to take breaks because breaks are important, man. And I also had to learn to think different throughout that time because I was just constantly streaming. I wasn't uploading as much content as I should. I wasn't editing things. I wasn't, I was just live all the time. And it took me a little bit to figure out that that's not going to work. I have to make content. What I love about this, though, if I'm being just 100% with you guys, it's it's an obvious answer. It's fun. It's a great way to make friends, and showcase my personality and creativity to the world. But on top of all that, I started creating content because I know that if I was going through the things I was going through back then there has to be millions of other people that feel and are going through somewhat the same things, and I could possibly connect to all of them. If I can get anything out of this whole journey, my whole content creation and what I'm doing with my content, what I want to do moving forward, is to show the world that it's okay to not be okay, and to show them the importance of mental health, because mindset really does matter. Mental health is so important. And in this space, everyone's dealing with it and no one's talking about it, so if I can just shed some light on that specific thing, that, I know I've made it. I've done my part. Looking back on day one when I started streaming, and day, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000, it's crazy that everything's led up to this invitational, and to opportunities like this. Like I said, biggest accomplishments was joining NorCal, joining Rising, and just the person I've become because of this is honestly one of the greatest experiences and greatest things ever. Moving forward, I just hope to keep growing as a person, keep growing as an entertainer, and just try to burn it into everyone's minds that mindset matters most. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have a beautiful week. This is part one to a whole video that I started and finished, and so I hope you guys take the time to watch this. And if you got extra time, go watch my other video, because in that video I dive more into the mental health aspect of things, and I dive into my sobriety and just everything that brought me here to you guys tonight. But peace out, Girl Scouts. You're loved, you're appreciated, all that good jazz. Respawn, thank you for top 50. Hopefully we get top 25, because we are just gonna keep pushing and keep going and showing the world what we got. Over here, it's all about love, positive vibes, and a good time. And I would love nothing more than to be able to, be backed and be with a company as respected as Respawn. I don't know why I did that twice. I was awkward. Love you guys.